If you don't know where to start with implementing AI into your business, you're not alone. In fact, over 40% of business owners face the exact same issue. And it's not because they don't see the value in AI, it's because they don't know what tools to use or how to apply them. The truth is, AI can drive serious results, but only if you know where to start. And that's exactly what this video is about. If you're new to the channel, my name is Matt Paiva. I build AI solutions for businesses, especially on the sales and marketing side of things. And today, I'm gonna walk you through a simple 3-step process to take you from I don't know where to start to a working AI automation that saves time and actually moves the needle forward. A common mistake I see a lot of business owners make when they're starting out with AI is to try to build a new shiny tool that will reinvent how their business works. But the reality is that's probably the worst place to start when it comes to AI. Instead, you should focus on automating processes that already exist in your business. And here are 3 reasons why this is the smartest move you can make right now. Number 1, you already know what works. You're not reinventing the wheel or trying an unproven system that you've never seen before. You're just taking your existing processes and making them faster, cheaper, and less error prone. Number 2, easy adoption. Your team already knows this workflow. You're not asking them to learn a new tool or to completely change their habits overnight. You're just taking away the grunt work and giving them back their time. Number 3, increase capacity. When you take away the boring stuff, you save your team time and you increase their capacity to work on more important things. This allows your company to grow without going through an expensive hiring process or burning out your current employees. And remember, smart leaders upskill, they don't downsize. Great business owners don't say, let's fire some people. They look at the human capital that they have and they think about ways of superpowering those individuals. The real win here is getting normal people in your team and transforming them into innovators, into change makers, into people that will actually drive the business forward because they're not busy with grunt work. So now that you know why looking into your current processes is a smart move, let's move on to the how. How do you actually identify those workflows and start automating them today? And by the way, if you don't want to do this process alone, I'll gladly do it with you. We're actually offering a free AI audit for business owners who are interested in saving time and are actually serious about moving fast. We'll hop on a call and I'll walk you through this exact process, and you're going to walk away with 3 things. Number 1, an AI use case portfolio, which is a long list of AI use cases prioritized based on your business goals. Number 2, a 6-month AI implementation roadmap, which is the actionable steps of what you need to do to implement these automations in the next 6 months. And number 3, a starter version of one of these automations built for you completely for free. Now, obviously, this takes up a lot of my time and I can only do a handful of these per month. So if you want me to do this with you, just go ahead in the link in the description and book a call and write audit in the description of the call so I know you came from this video and I know exactly what you're looking for. But if you want to go through this process on your own, let me walk you through the 3 steps that you need to do to get that list of prioritized AI use cases. Step number 1 is to run an audit, and the goal of this audit is to find out exactly what are the core activities each one of your team members is working on and how much time are they spending on each one of these activities. Now, there are 3 main ways you can do this audit. The first way of doing this is looking at your calendar for the past month. This is really good if you are an avid Google Calendar user, Apple Calendar user, whatever you use, because if you have all of those activities logged in your calendar, you can just go over there and pretty much look week by week and create buckets of those activities to figure out exactly how much time you spend on each activity. So if you're a salesperson, for example, you might have a bucket that looks like outreach, and then you can break down outreach into multiple different subcategories: lead generation, messaging, personalization of messaging, qualifying leads. If you don't currently track your time using a calendar, just do this for 1 week and figure out exactly how much time you're spending on each one of these activities. By the way, you're supposed to do this without any judgment. This is supposed to be an assessment. If you are procrastinating a little bit more than you actually thought you were, that's completely fine. That happens to all of us. You can do this digitally or physically. Honestly, it doesn't really matter as long as you have a really good outline of how much time you're spending on each one of your tasks on a given week. So here, you're just going to write down the tasks that you know you do every day, and you're going to really think to yourself, how much time do I actually spend doing this? If you reach out to 100 clients every day, how much time do I spend per client? Maybe you spend 2-3 minutes personalizing a message and then you send it out right away. So then that would be 3 minutes times 100 clients, 300 minutes. And that's something that you could write down how much time it's taking. Once you have your list ready to go with all the tasks and how much time you spend on each one of these tasks on a given week, we're going to move on to prioritization, which is step number 2. And in order to prioritize these tasks and these workflows, we're going to use the ICE method. Now, ICE stands for impact, confident, and ease. And what you're going to do is grab each one of these items and rank them in these 3 different categories. I'm going to explain each one of the categories in a little bit more detail in a second, but what you need to know is that 1 stands for really low and 10 stands for really high. So if it's really high impact, you rate it at 10. If it's really low impact, you rate it at 1. So let's go over to the categories, and for that, we're going to look over in the computer. Here, the first category is impact. And when you're thinking about impact, you're thinking about how much will this move the needle. And here we have 4 questions to help you rate this category for each one of the tasks. The first one is exactly what we were looking at before. How much time does your team spend on this task each week? You already have this number because you calculated it in the audit, so just think about that and rank it based on that. Another question is, if this process were fully automated, what would be the business gain in terms of time, money, accuracy, and speed? Another question is, does this directly affect revenue, customer experience, or operational efficiency? This is really important as well. And last but not least, what happens if this process is delayed, skipped, or done poorly? All of these questions will help us understand the impact of that specific task on the overall of the business. When it comes to confidence, we're asking ourselves, how sure are we that this will work? And this comes pretty much to how is the adoption going to look like for this type of automation? So you can ask yourself, is this process clearly defined, or does it change often? Will users trust and actually use it, or will they bypass it? Do we fully understand the process inputs and outputs? Number 4, does this process currently exist in the business? To be honest, confidence to me comes down to the point of how clearly defined is this process, because if each person does this process differently, that could create discrepancies between what people expect and what the system actually outputs, unless you already have something that is very clearly defined. If it's a process that everybody will take up exactly the same way, it's a very good candidate to be automated. And the last criteria we're going to look at is ease, where we ask ourselves, how easy is it to implement this feature? This one is a little bit harder to do on your own, especially if you have a limited understanding of the capabilities and limitations of AI right now. So I would recommend you to work with someone who works with AI on a day-to-day basis, or someone who is a little bit more tech savvy in order to do this. But nonetheless, you can always Google these things and see if these things are actually doable or not. So here you can ask yourself, how long will it take to scope, test, and launch? How many systems or integrations are involved? Are the software APIs easily available? And how complex is the workflow? After you think about those 3 criteria, you're going to create a table that looks like this. The first column will have the tasks. The second column will have impact, then confidence, then ease, then total. Then you're going to put the numbers in each one of the cells, and you're going to multiply each number to each other to get a total at the very end. Here you can multiply or add these numbers. It doesn't really matter as long as you have a final score. So after you have created the list and now it's prioritized to each one of the use cases that are most valuable to you, the third step is to build an MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product. If you're not familiar with the term, it's just the simplest version of a system that you can build right now. Here, you're not building a dream AI system. You're testing a hypothesis. So this means that it needs to be stupid simple. It can't have any additions to the current workflow that you have. And if you can automate the whole workflow in one go and it saves 100% of the time, that's awesome. But most of the times you're going to be able to automate part of that workflow. And if it saves 60% of the time, that's a huge win. Don't aim for perfect, aim for working. Here, feedback is really, really important. So what you need to do is to build something real, use real inputs, real outputs, and see where it's lacking. When it comes to platforms to build your MVP, I would recommend Zapier and Make.com. These are very simple platforms that focus exactly on automation, and they have a bunch of connections that you can probably connect to any of the softwares that you use in your business. Both of these platforms have very good resources when it comes to learning how to use them. Zapier has the Zapier Basics course, and Make.com has the Make.com Academy. These are 2 resources that you can use to learn how to use these platforms on a basic level and build your first automation. But if you don't have the capacity to go over these courses and learn how to use these platforms, like I said before, you can reach out to me and I can see if I can build a simple version for you completely for free. So if you've been stuck wondering where to start with AI, now you have a playbook. And like we've talked about before, you should focus on your current processes that you already have in your business. Then you can run an audit to figure out what these tasks are, prioritize them using the ICE framework, and create an MVP to get started. Like I said before, if you want us to do this process together, you can just go to the first link in the description down below and book a call with the word audit in the description, and I'll help you out completely for free. And if you want to learn more about different automations that can skyrocket your profits in 2025, here is a video with 6 of them. 3 of them are designed to increase your revenue, while the other 3 are designed to decrease your costs. So with all that being said, go ahead and watch that video. Remember to book the call down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.